What's going on, everybody? See who we got in the chat so far. YouTube is already doing crazy stuff. They already rejected one of my replies to you guys. So they said that it looked like spam, but yeah, we'll see. So we have the Blues. Who's Eric? We have Mr. Harry Grubbs. We have Mr. Darren. Let's see who else we got in here. Lefty, I think Lefties lead Lab 1. I think I'm saying that right. We got Rokit, Helping Man 7. What's going on? We'll see how many people pile up in here. It's been a while. It's been a minute since we've done a live stream. First of all, hopefully the audio and video look good. So let me know, is the audio okay? Is the video okay? Not much we can do about video because it's being compressed, but we'll see how we're doing. We'll get into it. We're going to talk some precision rimfire. Obviously, there's some things coming down the pipe. Talk about what I've been doing, what you guys want to see, answer a bunch of your guys' questions as always. So let's see who else we've had come in here. Sharpshooter Joe, what's up? We got Mr. Orange Smoke. We got the Semi Guy 22. We got BR Shooter 73. We got Parallax Precision. What's up, brother? Shooter 2678. Here Grows we already mentioned, and Moto Party 1. All right, yeah, so we got 45 in here now. I suspect we'll get close to 100, maybe less. I don't know. It's said it's been a while, so I get it if if we don't have the usual crowd we normally do, because yeah, I've been being a slacker, but it's been some pretty good reasons for me being a slacker. We'll talk about that a little bit, but mostly answer your guys' questions, talk about some of these new things coming down the pipe, talk about some of the ammo kind of stuff, and just kind of all over the joint. Let's see who else we got. Mr. Edge of Center, what's up? Roger Lance from West Michigan, what's up? Let's see. Robert Hughes from Australia. We got Mike Wednesday. We got Duke Mack. We got Jeff Rankowski. Chris Lang, what's up, brother? Dirt ATV, how you been, man? Nice to see you. Yeah, I haven't been in many of these matches, to be honest with you. See, our first question from Kathy Druard, or the first one here. What is the CZ457 MTR like? So it's going to be like any CZ457. The MTR is going to come with like a better than factory barrel. Like, it's going to have their match chamber. And then it's got like a different coated trigger. It doesn't do anything for the trigger performance. And then it's going to have that nicer kind of wood stock if you're into that. So it's a very nice rifle. I mean, when you get it, it's very much a stock CZ, but it is a really, really nice CZ. So we got Mr. Jaspy 17 from Southern Oregon. What's up? Got David Strother from San Angelo, Texas. Roger Rose, what's going on, brother? Mark Lachue, what's going on? Yeah, so, and Helping Man 7's Chris from somewhere in the middle of nowhere. that's where a lot of us are, man, in the shooting community. Kathy Deward is from Ireland. Well, yeah, if you guys got some burning questions, kind of try not to miss a bunch of them. But primarily the reason that I've been kind of slacking, I'm going to be honest with you, I've been slacking, is I'm prepping. I'm going to the Mammoth Sniper Challenge this next weekend. It'll be taking up most of the week. So it's a center fire team sniper match, lots of rucking, lots of range and engage stuff. And so, yeah, I've been spending quite a bit of my time trying to get prepared for that. I don't think you really get prepared for something like that, but it's something in the nature of like 35 miles across 3 days and a bunch of shooting. So it should be pretty cool, but it has definitely been distracting me. Let's see, missing some people in here. Mr. Wheeler P11 from South Carolina, underscore 1985 from Canada. Interested? Are you going to test the IBI Deuce? Yeah, so we'll get into that. We can open with that because it's kind of juicy. I'm probably going to test the Deuce 2.0. I've heard other people say good things about it. I'm going to just tell you straight up, like that company doesn't like me. And it's not something they said directly to me, but it's something I've heard from many of people. So a long time ago, if you've watched the channel, I tested one of their B14R drop-in barrels. Mine, and it is the chamber design of it, with the fact that the Bergara has a really stiff extractor spring, like you can damage the chamber. It's not common, but on mine, I cracked it if you saw a video. And they were actually really cool about it. I hit them up. They sent me another barrel. Like everything was good. They were really nice about it. Um, and the gun had just kind of fallen off accuracy wise. And then when I was cleaning it, bore scoping, I noticed a crack, and it was right there where the extractor kind of hits the breech of the barrel, and it's a cone breech. So not a lot of people do cone breaches for a reason. That's because it can be very easy to damage a cone breach. But anyway, yeah, I didn't think there was a problem. I didn't really have a problem with them. Felt like they took care of the situation. I made sure I pointed that out in the video, and a lot of you guys who watch that also kind of, said, hey, it's good. They took care of it. They stepped up. Like, everybody makes mistakes. There's a bad product, and it's gonna be a thing. It's how the company deals with it. Well, I didn't have a problem with them or that. But then I heard from several people, like with proof, that these guys were kind of like backhandedly like talking crap about me to these other people. And the only reason I found out about it is because they reached out because they had the same failure I did and want to see what ended up being the fix. But yeah, so long story short, to say I am not going to fall. Like, I think the Deuce 2.0 is worth testing. Like, I think it's going to be a good rimfire. I think they've, from what I've heard, they made some big improvements from the last one. But my relationship with them is not probably ever going to be real good. It won't keep me from testing it, but it's certainly like not my top priority and not something that they're going to send me a gun to test for sure. So it'll be out of the budget. Anyways, let's get back to some of your guys' stuff. Who did I miss? We got Les Tracy from Minnesota. Mr. Paul, I'm not even going to try and do that last spot. My first season 457. Now I'm probably overthinking everything about upgrades. Nah, I mean, shoot it honestly until you outperform the rifle. Just shoot it the way it is. The most bang for your buck you're going to get out of it, hands down, is going to be a barrel. So if it's just not shooting the ammo that you're shooting really, really well, and you think it could be better, and you're doing your part, then look at barrels. Um, it's don't overthink it. It's just get what you can in your price point. Savage has not reached out to me. There's actually an event, and I'm gonna miss it. It's like a week after Mammoth. I just between the Mammoth work and everything else, there's an event, and Savage is gonna be at the event, and that would probably be the perfect time for me to go test it and get one to test on the channel. But I'm not gonna be able to make it, so I am gonna try and reach out to them and see what we can do. But yeah, what's your go-to barrel for the 457? If you want a 118, like a close to 112, or close to a 120 drop in right now, it's probably going to be the L3i because you're going to get that larger profile. If you don't want the 1.2 and you don't mind being a little thinner than that, then definitely the Loja. Those are the two easy to recommend right now. Let's see. Underscore, yeah, I remember the barrel test. Yeah, I mean, I really don't think I honestly did not like. I tried to go out of my way to not drag them because those things can happen to anybody. But yeah, I was kind of surprised when I started hearing from other people that it was like kind of they were had something against me, I guess. Mr. Cameron Fogel from Kentucky. Ever have issues with elax coming up or chamber so bad causing distraction? Is rim first time happening? Not really, no. Because really, like, you shouldn't be getting a lot of wax in your chamber. Um, but yeah, I've never really had one. It may just be a compounding issue. Um, so yeah, I don't know. It's a Remex, so I'm guessing are you using like the regular fixed extractor or are you using like a modified extractor system? The fixed extractor, it should always be extracting no matter what, but be interesting to see what you say. Let's see. Mr. Jaspy 17 picked up a couple CZ457 MTRs from Area 419 from me and my wife. Long story short, would you put a muzzle attachment on since they threaded the barrel? Yeah, I mean, it's like with anything, suppressors can, or anything on the muzzle can hurt or can help. It can change the barrel harmonics positively or negatively or neutrally. You don't know till you throw it on there. So it's worth, shooting it. Let's see, Mr. Oh, we got Brands Fraser. With all development with Tika, is it worth changing out a barrel with a little jet? And what's your take on the City Heat triggers? I don't know anything about the triggers. The Tika barrels are pretty good. I would like, I do think there is some room for improvement. It's like a factory CZ. You can get a factory CZ that shoots lights out and just don't touch it, or you can get one that's just kind of mediocre, and then it makes a lot more sense to upgrade it. So I would say if your factory Tika is not shooting consistently point threes, then there's probably some meat on the bone to go ahead and upgrade it. If you need the accuracy or want the accuracy. Let's see, Mr. Better Late Than Never 5184. Hey Josh, what is your unbiased opinion of 1x26 barrel? Good to see you on tonight. Yeah, man. Like Lilja doesn't pay me anything. Like, they have helped me out with some barrels. I buy barrels and stuff from them as well. But I like the Lilja barrels. Like I think that their combo of their blank and their chambers just work. So it's like the known quantity. The L3Is have been really, really good with a larger diameter, and I think I've seen enough of them now to say, like, if you want the larger diameter, go with the L3i because the accuracy is going to be on par with the Lilja. If you just want that longer, like 1x26, it fits your barrel channel or whatever, then yeah, go the Lilja. I do think that Lilja makes really good barrels. Like both of my precision, and this is even in centerfire, both my precision ARs have Lilja barrels, and they both hammer. Like they're ridiculous. All Lilja barrels I've ever shot for rimfire, they've all been good, and I don't get cherry pick stuff from them. They treat me like anybody else. Even if they help me out with a barrel, it literally just comes off the shelf. They don't like make me a barrel that they know is going to do good. So yeah, I have a lot of faith in them. New mini mammoth match just announced in Canada, July. Can't wait, man. A mini mammoth sounds pretty good to me right now. As I'm gonna get my butt whipped for 3 days out there. It's gonna be rough, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Just got a 457 custom from DT Precision. Nice. I don't think I'm real familiar with them, but there's so many good rimfire guys in the game right now. Do you think it'd be worth trying to hand lap varmint barrel or just buy aftermarket? I mean, if the hand lapping, like, if it's not going to cost you anything, do it. Like, why not? Like, what do you have to lose? Like, a little bit of time. If it's going to cost you for to invest money in hand lapping it, I would just go with another thing because the one thing you can't hand lap in is a match chamber or a custom barrel that is concentrically bored. So a lot of times we get hung up as shooters on match chambers. I think more importantly is the concentricity. So like that gunsmith who's doing you a custom barrel, he's going to put that barrel in and he's going to take immense amount of time and care and perfectly lining that barrel up in the machine. So when that chamber is bored, it's perfectly concentric. And I think that's where production barrels tend to suffer when we're talking about production rifles. I don't think the rifling and all those things are the biggest problem or the chamber. I think that more specifically, it's like when you get a bad shooting barrel, I don't think the rifling's cut weird. I think it's not concentric. And so when that little lead bullet starts out with a little bit of yaw to it at all, it doesn't correct that. That just becomes part of that lead. And then that is always just going to be kind of an imprint of crappiness on that projectile that's never going to correct. So, if you're looking to improve those things overall, like you can't really duplicate that with the hand lapping. That's a chambering thing where you're going to want to go with, a custom barrel. No problem, Mr. Underscore. Let's see. What's up, Hickory Plinker? What's going on? Appreciate you, brother. I do appreciate all that. Look, guys, and don't feel like you have to throw that money or the super chats. I do appreciate it, but I just want everybody in here who's watching now to know, like, I will go through every question. Like, so even if it's super chat or not, I certainly appreciate you, Mr. Paul. Let's see. For a CZ and Cronus Gen 2, wondering which setup will be better, 419, 30 MOA, or zero with a 28. Well, I mean, ideally, it's not really going to matter where you get your camp from. The Cronus Gen 2 has plenty of travel. So I would probably go 30 MOA on the 419 rail, and because that's going to let you shoot further. I assume since you're looking at MOA, can't in your optic setup, you want to shoot further. So go ahead and rip the 30 MOA. You're going to have plenty of travel internally in that scope where you still zero, shoot at 50, and probably dial out to 300 plus. Let's see. How do you feel about the competitive bench shooting with a can? I don't know. My issue with I would never probably do it myself. If we're talking just raw accuracy, because that can is going to change volume, and I don't want anything harmonically changing on the gun whatsoever, especially a bench gun where it really, really, really matters. I wouldn't want to play with fire. It may not be a thing. You may get away with it, but I wouldn't want to put it on there and just find out. It's going to change volume of the can, which is, I would think, after a certain amount of rounds, going to change something harmonically. It may not be enough within the card. Maybe you should just do a bunch of testing with it. Make sure you can get through a card without anything weird happening. But I would assume that just generically speaking, throwing a can on a bench rest rifle for 22 is not going to be a great idea. It's going to be something you have to work around. But if shooting quiet, and the other thing is too, if you're going to be competitively shooting, everybody around you is not shooting. They're shooting like bloop tubes and everything else. So it's not like you're going to benefit much because it's just going to really make, one or two people, happy for when you pull the trigger, but everybody else's noise is still there. We got Mr. Rick Nutt from Kansas. What's up, brother? Is the Vortex Venom 525-56 first photo blank good scope for the MTR? It will work fine on it if you are a Vortex nut. Like if you just have Vortex loyalty, sure. If you don't just have Vortex loyalty, look across the other brands like Athlon and people like that. They are probably going to have a similarly spec'd optic that's going to be a little bit less. That's what I find with Vortex. Their super high-end scopes are really, really great. Their other scopes are not bad, but you are getting upcharged a little bit for the brand, that is Vortex, which if you are a Vortex kind of loyal user, then hey, have at it. I'm not discouraging that at all. I just think you should know getting into it. There's very likely that you can get a better optic for around the same money in somebody else's line where you're not paying for that huge amount of brand recognition. And fairly that Vortex has earned. So, Fishin' Ben B, what's up, brother? Oh, 17 HMR or 22? I don't really know. I don't really have a favorite. I mean, honestly, I need to get back into it. Something I want to get back into. I want to kind of run like a 22 mag suppress setup, but if I'm doing something outside of it, the 17 HMR just has tiny, tiny grain weight bullets. I don't love that about it. I'd probably go 22 Win Mag, and not for any scientific reason, because you're going to be, crazy limited by ammo on both, but just because, you know, how could it, dude? I mean, well, it's the internet first off, but I'm not infallible either. I make mistakes, of course. So I'm sure I've made a dumb mistake that is, tick somebody off. I was going to say some other terminology there, but yeah, man, I try and be just. It's the only easy way to do YouTube is just be honest. Been shooting my new Desert Precision Genesis. Can't wait to shoot my first match with it. And nice. Yeah, what kind of groups you been seeing out of it? Not many Genesis out there on the market, so I'm hoping to get one soon. Shoot it, do some filming with it would be pretty sweet. It's going to be a good year for Rimfire. Have been testing the new L3i 1022 barrels this weekend. Consistent hammers. Nice. Yeah, I got a project I'm going to do. I'm got one of those coming. I think I'm going to try. I want to do like a whole dedicated build. I could swap some things around or whatever. Um, but I may just hit up Kid and see if I can get like a bargain bin, like bolt or something like that, some parts and pieces. But yeah, any feedback on the L3 barreled action? So the barrel blanks for me have been good. I have the Stinger. It shoots really good. It's a 90 degree. It's essentially, I don't want to call it a clone, but it's based off of the 40X. So if you like a Remington 40X, you will like the Stinger. It is a 90 degree 40X feeling rifle. Mine shoots really well and has really good consistent ignition. So I can't say anything bad about it for sure. It performs. Um, but realistically, that's what you got to know. Is it gonna? It's not a 360. It's not a short, light little thing. it's a 90-degree, kind of 40x-ish based action, and there's nothing wrong with it. I kind of like pulling those out and playing with them. But yeah, I mean, it's a good shooting gun. The L-thread barrels for me have been good shooting. Let's see. Got the L-thread barrel, but I need a different scope-based mount. Is that common due to large size of barrel? Yeah. So what you can do is if you ran the same thing I did, is where you go to push that mount up, it'll actually contact it. What I just did was took a file and that mount, so it's kind of flat and then it kind of dovetails up. I just took a flat file and just kind of went back in it right where it needed to be and just kind of went in until I took it back. So I just took a little material out of the mount to clear those bigger 118, 1.2 barrels. Let's see. I have the Lilja and one CZ and Elter and another both shoot well. It's toss up. Yeah, I mean, I think both are done pretty well. So, what's up, Mr. 22 Guru? Nice to see you. Nice having you in house. Let's see. 8 Gamer Dad. Blue Collar's awesome. Great guys. Thanks for letting me know about them. I live in Indian Land, so it's a bit over in drive. Yeah, Blue Collar Reloading. They're like a local, if you guys don't know. Salisbury, North Carolina. I go there for a lot of stuff. Local guys, like really good guys that own and run the place. They do have a web store. So if you're looking for powder, projectiles, ammo, even 22 ammo, Area 419 stuff, they're like a super good group of guys. So if you're looking for something, check them out. And they don't even, it's not like a local place that has like some huge markup. They're very competitive with pricing, so, and just good guys. Christopher Robert is 20. No, I think the short answer there is no. It's that's the thing with the trends is like it may flatline for a little while, but it's never going to drop. I mean, that's just the unfortunate side effect of the economy is like they're not going to lose money. But yeah, so yeah, I think we're in for the long haul. Thinking of a custom crown on a Remington 40X near Burlington. I'm trying to think. I don't know if he does it. Let me see if I got the card. I would tell you Monicam, but they are super, super, super busy, and they're in Denver, and that's not really near Burlington. Let's see if I got this guy's card in here. I'm going brain dead. Anyway, look up Blueprinted Firearms. Give him a call. He's not in Burlington, but it's not going to be like crazy, crazy far from you. And he may quote you on just doing a crown, but he's a localish gunsmith and he does custom guns. He's pretty dang good. What's up, Mr. Len Swain? Yeah, there was a Modicam recommendation. I just don't know how long it would take for them. He may be able to use as a crown, maybe it'll get you in and out, but let's see. Any future videos on PRS gas gun stuff? Yeah, I think so. I think both centerfire and rimfire. So I'm in like a weird spot with the rimfire semi-auto stuff where I wanted an AR feel and like I wanted AR stuff, right? But I don't want the AR-22 problems. Kid and them already have like semi-autos figured out, obviously. So it'd really be cool if they came up with some like Kid where they would come up with like an adapter for like an AR style mag and like something to do where you can just set it up to be like an AR. That would be pretty cool. Mr. J Hayes, you mentioned that CZ's cheaped out on a few things lately. Can you mention those things are? Yeah. So what I've seen is, or I haven't seen this personally. I've just heard about it a lot. Plastic recoil lugs in some of the models. To be honest with you, I've forgotten some recoil lugs in some CZs before and shot them and not really noticed. But just seems like a cheap thing to do. And then there seems to be people breaking bolt handles like more commonly. And that's not like it's never happened before in anything, but people seem to be breaking bolt handles more. And it all kind of, all this stuff kind of happened after like the CZ Colt Canada, all this stuff. And so it just seems like, I don't know if it's just because we're hearing about it more, more people are talking about it, but I've heard way more negative quality control issue stuff out of them lately. Again, it still is the GOAT. You know what I mean? Like for a first time shooter, I'm going to recommend a T1X right now for like their first gun. Like get out has to work so that they can have a good result, have fun, get into the hobby, have a good first experience. But, overall, for like, if you got to have one gun and you want to tinker and you want to do everything with it, CZ is the GOAT, still is the GOAT. Let's see. What do people worry about brass brushes and clean rods damage 20? No, I mean slightly. Like a rimfire blank could be made of a less hard material. It's going to take less pressure. But yeah, I mean, if you can damage it with like, just cleaning, like something else is going on. Some very cool things coming from a kid in the next few weeks. Yeah, I've heard that a little bit. I might reach out to them and see if they're willing to like share, if we can get together and do something. So that'd be cool. Obviously, been running the kids for a long time, so been a real good experience with me with all the kids stuff. Yeah, I tested Loja and Elter extensively, and splitting hairs on actually the Loja Howard does have a tighter chamber and bore, which makes a difference on hot ammo days with velocity changes. Gotcha. Is the Ely bench rest semi-auto any better than just using contact? Yes, it is 100% more consistent. It's going to have a better SDES. Contact is really just made for like, I think they make contact for like AR-22, like pistol, just that kind of thing. With semi-auto bench rest, they are taking the time, getting all those little consistency things the same. So I have seen that it's going to do a lot better. Let's see. Yep, I have the Board Buddy 22, still working on it, still going through. They're changing things. They're trying to create a precision. They're working with some PRS shooters on some things. I honestly haven't had a ton of time to commit to it. That's something after Mammoth I got to get back on the ball with, is with that too. But yeah, I have tried it, and mine shoots good. I mean, it's super reliable. It's just not as accurate as like a kid. So like, if I want to, compare them just accuracy wise, the kid is going to win. Like, but the Board Buddy is super duper reliable and has the AR feels and controls. So that's, pretty cool. Check it out. Trying to build a vintage 40X hammer, pure correct part, shoots well, but looks rough. Yeah. Some of those old 40Xs definitely can look kind of rough. And 22 long for handguns. We're never to dry fire an empty chamber, but I noticed that people commonly dry fire an empty chamber as a rifle. Any insight? Yeah, so most modern rimfires you can dry fire. Like a lot of even modern rimfires you will see in like the user manual, where it's going to tell you is like a clearing procedure is to drop the hammer on it. So it's not really a big of deal. Now, can you dry fire a rimfire 10,000 times and nothing happened? No, because what you're getting is that fire pin traveling. It's not got no cushion. That brass is usually there as a cushion. So you've got it kind of hitting its stop. And over time, it's going to probably cause a crack and break a firing pin. Now, I really don't get concerned about it. The days of it like hitting the barrel face and doing crazy things are kind of over. Um, Realistically, if you're going to be shooting a gun a lot, I think you're better off to just dry fire the crap out of it and buy an extra firing pin spring or, those wear items, because it's going to take a lot to get it to do that. Or maybe just have the original firing pin be your dry fire firing pin, swap to the other one, or some guys just take the firing pin out of the bolt and they dry fire that way. But it's not gonna like instantaneously break anything, but it will speed up, expedite the wear process of those parts that can and will fail eventually. Let's see. Would you recommend a pre-fit for his barrel or get the blank and have a gunsmith chamber it? I mean, if you got the time and you want to commit, then having it chambered is going, and done like locally and fit, or especially if it's going to be threaded, like you can get small gains out of that, like over the same barrel on a pre-fit. Um, it's just up to you whether you think it's worth it or not. Like if you're not that worried about it, if you want a gun that's going to shoot threes, like that's kind of usually what you're looking for in a pre-fit, and you're not worried about every little, ounce of accuracy, like you're okay at 99.9, percent accuracy, then the prefit's not going to bother you. But it's really just a personal choice. How would you pick between the XLR Element with C6 buttstock or NDT Premier chassis for a 457 MTR? What's your pick? So for the 457, I assume you're talking about the Gen 2 Premier. I would, both are going to have really short foreends. That's the one thing I don't like. I don't like short. It's a personal thing. I don't like short foreends on competition chassis. Because to me, it's like a lot of people look at it, don't really realize it, I guess, until they get on one. It's way easier when you're coming in and out of ports. If you have a full length forend that's almost like this one here, it's almost as long as the barrel. I only have to put the barrel in that far before I put that forend down on the bag, and then I can slide the rifle into that port or into that prop. I don't like shorter forends because then you end up having, if your forend's only that long, you end up having to put all that barrel in and then kind of set the rifle on. And I really like to plant my rifle and slide it forward in the bag because it kind of creates a channel. And when the rifle hits again, it just stops. And so for me, I think you can't go wrong with either. Whichever the one you like the looks of more, probably at that point. But personally, if it were for me, I would be getting a longer forend chassis. Like, even if it cost me a couple $100 more, just because you're already spending X amount of money, I'm just going to spend X plus, 10%, 20% more to get something I feel is going to give me that little competitive edge. And it just makes the whole thing easier to shoot with that extra weight out front. What's up, Mr. North 4961 from Canada? Let's see. Mr. Hellman said, I picked up some Ely team tested ammo from Whidden and shoots well. I see. Good. Yeah. I haven't had like terrible luck with Ely, but I haven't had the amount of success that I've had in prior years with this year's lots of ammos. I mean, before it was like I would buy 10 lots. I would have to decide between 4 or 5 of them which one I'm going to buy. Now I'm buying 10 lots and I may not pick any out of the 10, which is, I don't know what's going on, but it definitely hasn't been as easy. Will a bore buddy? Yes, it definitely will. You just get the upper, throw it on a standard lower, you're good to go. What's up, Mr. Copper Star Precision? Yeah, me too. I've been having fun shooting it. I do want to test one more barrel outside the win. I got to find something still um, decently priced, not crazy priced, because I don't want to go nuts with it. But I want to throw it. I'm probably going to buy a KRG or something for it. I just want to see what I can do with it. So yeah, appreciate you jumping in on here with us. Getting some Bore Buddy parts built AR-22 with an FRT. Gonna be nuts, fun, and cheap, man. It is, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the FRT and the 22 stuff is stupid fun. Let's see. I got 5K into a Bergarvient with a Wooks Furious Entrepreneur. Yeah, dude, it adds up quick. I mean, that's the thing is like any of these rifles, when you go crazy, full on custom build, you're looking at 3 to 5 grand no matter what you buy. Always with you on the forend length. Good to know. What's up, Mr. Quality Maximus? Nice to see you. Is the Leupold Mark V 735 okay for? Yeah, why not? Some people complain, and I mean, depending on where you shoot. If you're shooting NRL 22, I would say maybe that's not the right scope because it doesn't parallax under 50 yards. So a lot of NRL 22 events go like 35 yards at a KYL. It's still possible. Just turn your magnification down. But if you like magnification, a lot of NRL 22 guys do like to be up there 18, 22 power. You are not going to see crap at 18 to 22 power, parallaxed at 50 yards, which is the min for that, at like 30 or 35 yards. It's going to be very, very noticeable that you can't see crap. So in that case, maybe not. For PRS 22, like, yeah, no problem. Like, you rarely see. I don't think we should have targets closer than 50 yards regardless anyway. To me, it just kind of seems silly, but is what it is. So if that's consideration, maybe don't go 7 to 35 Mark 5. Maybe look for another option. But the Mark 5s are great scopes, so nothing to really complain about there. I have my T1X and a KRG Bravo. Looks kind of silly with a stock barrel. Yeah, I mean, It is what it is. It is a skinny. That's like the super, which a lot of production rimfires are just super skinny. Like I don't even get it, but I think we're going to see that change a little bit. But yeah, I could see having like a pencil barrel in the KRG, and it would be kind of crazy looking. Any thoughts on spending money on the rare? Um, I'm not going to. I mean, I know people that already have. I know a ton of people who are shooting it who have thoroughly tested it, and it is good. I mean, R50 has always been good. This is no exception. This new stuff may be better, honestly, from what I've seen out of my buddies. But I'm not going to spend $30 a box. I'm just not. Like $30 a box. I mean, that's what I'm paying to load and shoot my like NAS3 loaded 223, and I can shoot it out to 1,000 yards. For me, I just can't. If you're wanting to do that and you are competing at a high level, and you want to compete at a high level, then yeah, it's probably worth it. Mr. What do we got? Stefan Anderman 7864. What's up? Is that Louisiana or Los Angeles? If it's Los Angeles, I'm probably not. Probably Louisiana. Let's see. Robert Razor jumping on his T1X chat. How compatible is the inlet footprint? It is compatible. And I didn't bring that up enough because not many people shoot T3s anymore, right? Like some people do, but most people don't. Pretty much everybody has swapped to the 700 platform. So, but it is compatible. The T1X compatible with the T3 footprint. You may have to check specifically for some nuances, but generically speaking, it is compatible. He said, like, try having 6K into a 1020. Man, well, I think we got to exclude our optics from the build price because that skews it so much. Because I can take a Bergara and put a tangent theta on, and it's instantly bone stock Bergara is instantly a $6,000 build. But yeah, I totally totally agree with your sentiment. Trust me, I've had some super expensive 1022s as well. Kind of thin the herd a little bit, due to center fire stuff. But yeah, it happens quick. Let's see. I haven't tried it. Every time somebody's told me that stuff is in stock, I go and it's out of stock. So people are buying it up. And I think Joe's video kind of sealed the deal. Like it's not going to be in stock for a while because Joe made a video about it. And honestly, I never knew about it till I saw Joe's video. So I definitely want to try some because it would be cool, even if it shot like 0.4s, like on average, like totally worth it. Let's see. Does TAC-22 shoot well on average in MTR headspace match? I mean, it's so the question, I'll be honest with you, the question you're asking is an impossible question to answer because every single gun's gonna like something else. TAC-22 does shoot decent, like it, and you're not gonna have a headspace issue, but the headspace is a floating value too on production guns, like, and even high-end production guns. You're gonna see headspace tolerances that go like this. And sometimes headspace means a lot, sometimes it doesn't mean much. So it's kind of an impossible question, but it's worth trying. That's what I always say. People ask me about ammo. It's worth trying if it's decent. Is it going to compete with Lapua and Ely, the higher end Ely stuff? No. But if you're just looking to, not spend a ton of money and get something shoots decent, then definitely test it. Yeah, Louisiana. Okay, I figured. I assume we didn't have many big time shooters from Los Angeles in here. I think it's supposed to see hit steel at 5 number RV 14 when I dialed. And we dialed 85, held 16. Yeah, we shot pretty far. When I was in Missouri, we would go out and shoot 500-600 yards. It was a lot of fun, a lot of luck on a wind call, that kind of thing. But man, you can really, I mean, like on an IPSC, you can really put some rounds at 500 and 600 yard on an IPSC, especially with a decent setup. Let's see, taking after I barreled CZ4s in Alabama in June for an Arrow 22 champions. Nice. There are some T3X chassis that the T1X makes. Okay. That's interesting. Let's see. Ely bulk is half the SDs of Target and Club out of my semis. Nice. Yeah. You might have just sealed the deal even more. We'll never get it. It shoots half the SD. the other bulk-ish ammo. Let's see. I watched my buddy at Country Runner have good luck with SK Magazine while nobody else does. Let's see. Since we've gotten a DMR match, can you talk about how you drive an AR versus? Honestly, I don't run them any differently. And ARs are just easy. I mean, like to me, I basically run it just like a bolt gun. I use all the same principles, and oftentimes we're shooting out to 600-700 yards. But like if you have a decent shooting AR, for these DMR matches, if you just treat it the same way as you would a bolt gun as far as positionally, like it's going to perform kind of to expectation. Um, it's a lot of it's just it was crazy to me how much more fun it is to have unlimited round count, but have to complete a course fire in a time. So you're trying to shoot it as fast as you humanly can, but you have to hit the targets. And I love that mix. I wish there was more of that in 22, even with the bolt gun stuff. Let's see. Is there any specific muzzle device you recommend to do on a factory 47 MTR barrel? Potentially increase. I'm seeing close to 1 inch at 50 yards. On an MTR, that is weird. Honestly, before I would attach anything to the muzzle of that gun, I would check everything. I mean, like, absolutely check everything. Check the barrel, check your torque, make sure nothing's binding because you should easily be shooting half inch at 50 yards. And if you're shooting 1 inch at 50 yards, like no muzzle device is going to just magically change that because something is wrong. Like the barrel is just not performing something in the bolt ignition wise, but I would check absolutely everything. Get some quality ammo. If you got a friend who's got like a really high end rimfire, have them shoot that ammo through theirs over a chronograph, check for STNES, put it in your gun, shoot it. You should get similar STNESs. I would be looking for something, maybe a burr in the firing pin spring, somewhere in that bolt that's causing inconsistent ignition, or something in that barrel. Something is going on because 1 inch at 50 yards is definitely not normal for that. Even like a factory, like a non-MTR. It definitely wouldn't be. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that stuff sells out quick. You may want to reconsider buying some Brigard before more carbon local air factory dollars once you use carbon. Yeah, I've heard a couple of guys who've had really great luck with carbon, and I have that carbon barrel, that one there, the full carbon. It shoots pretty good. Um, yeah, I mean, honestly, for me, like, I'm not much of a bench shooter. I honestly shoot more groups on camera than I probably ever do for anything else because I just like hitting stuff. I like shooting at distance or on steel and just putting myself in weird positions. I don't really like have a lot of fun shooting groups. Like group shooting to me actually like is more stressful than anything because it's like test taking time. Except for I can't do much. Like it's just my gun and the ammo combo. And so I'm just waiting for something to not live up to my expectations. So I don't spend a lot of my time shooting groups. Um, but like I said, I've seen that carbon barrel perform. But even for me, you know, the steel makes what I want to do easier. I get more weight out front, more balance where I need it, and overall a heavier rifle that's going to settle a lot faster. So for me, it's just kind of an easy thing to always pick steel. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna try and do some shirts next month. I gotta get with the printer, see what's going on. I've been trying not to go, crazy YouTuber, merch salesman deal. But yeah, let's see. Scope option is get a 24 172 by 85 spawn scope and mount it. 22 and no recoil should work fine. Okay, I was like, what in the world? The CZ warranty is under the 1 inch at 50. Yeah, that's crazy, man. 1 inch at 50 is like something is up. Looks like we're finally catching up, and it's only just now 9 o'clock. All right. This is like probably one of the few times we've actually caught up with some questions. So I think maybe a good segue into new stuff that's coming. Obviously, there's a bunch of new actions and things coming out. Um, I'm more interested to hear from you guys in here, what you think. Like, is the addition of all these new actions, the Genesis, all the new perspective ones that are to come out, is that something you guys even care about? Like, not really. Is it beginning to be too much? Like, is it just too much new stuff all the time? Because I'm interested. Because obviously, when there's new stuff for me, it's like it's exciting because I'm gonna, it's another something that I can play with, something that I can test. Because everybody wants to see these things tested on camera, obviously. So for me, it's always exciting. But I don't know if you guys get burned out with the new stuff. Like if there's 5 new actions a year, you guys just kind of get tired of it. I mean, ultimately, I pretty much know the answer. We would all probably just prefer that somebody in America makes some good ammo that doesn't cost $1 million a box, but that is likely not in the cards for us at all. Let's see. Like to see someone you review the new CZ. Oh, you're talking about the new one that one that they launched that's like the it looks like the silhouette gun basically. I'm interested to see when they drop that trigger. But yeah. What brand's your slab wall? I'm looking at something. So this is the hold up displays. And honestly, their accessories are really cheap. Like the slat wall, not that cheap. The accessories, like the hooks and all those things, are actually pretty freaking cheap for what they are. Let's see. I always thought ES and SD doesn't matter for group size at 50 yards affects 100. No, I mean, it really doesn't affect groups at 50 yards, but SD and ES are good indicators of crap ignition. And bad ignition can do weird things, for guns and accuracy in general. But, like raw SD and ES, yeah, like if I have a 5 SD and a 10 SD, I've seen them both shoot similar size groups, but SD and ES are one thing that I do look at to determine, across rifles if I'm having an issue, if it is something inside of the ignition, because ignition, when it's inconsistent, can be kind of a plague upon a whole rifle system. Yeah, it said the CZ 457 target. Yeah, I'm interested to see that too when that stuff comes out. It'd be pretty freaking interesting. I like seeing the new stuff. I first see some match footage 22 DMR, whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna try and get back on the match footage stuff and just like positional shooting stuff too, just in general, more like technique based stuff. Because honestly, like, the new stuff is exciting, but man, do I get tired of doing like product review videos. Like after a while, I really get tired of it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to doing more like, informational, educational with some fun mixed in shooting videos. Yeah, I wonder what the price is. Price is probably gonna be pretty ridiculous on that CZ target too. Your barrel should last infinite rounds. Like you should like that thing should still be shooting when you're gone. Like we don't produce enough heat and things to deteriorate the barrel with the 22 subsonic stuff. As long as you take care of it, keep it clean, keep it stored somewhere well, shoot quality ammo through it, you're likely never going to shoot out that barrel. See, I like to see new action that's doing something far better than what's already out there. Won't know what it is unless someone. Yep, that's true. What do you think of the BMRX? I don't really like the BMRX. Like, okay, that's kind of harsh. I don't not like it. I wouldn't pick it over a 457. To me, it's very close to a 457. And from my experience with it, it doesn't outperform the 457 in any way. So that or the Tika, like, I think it's just like I see where they wanted to create that rifle to fill, like to have a production rifle that didn't cost a lot. That was a micro action. I just don't think it did enough to upset the need to buy a 457 or a Tika T1X. Did you sell the black red? So that I sold the chassis to a Discord member, but the rifle stayed. Let's see. Yeah, definitely not cheap. Look up Day Mountain Ranch. I'd like to have you out. We're still at 2 miles. We're in Idaho. Nice. Yeah, I might be making a trip out that way, like Utah-ish this year. So we might be able to hook something up. I want to make like, I want to go on like a big boys trip and go shoot prairie dogs in Utah this year. Best headspace. Hope I missed it. Best headspace for 4% Lapua long range, probably 43,000s, 42,000s maybe. 41,000s is usually what I run for Ely. Lapua does have a slightly thicker rim, so 42, 43. 43 is generic, headspace. So you're going to be fine there. Let's see. What about some feedback on needs for new shooters doing NRL PRS? Where to spend, where not to spend, bags, bipod? Yeah, that would be a good one. Honestly, like that would be like the anti-sponsor, which I don't mind doing that. If you've been around the channel for a while, you guys know. If something doesn't make sense, I don't mind saying that. But that would be a cool video because I think what the new shooter needs is far less than what they think. Although I do understand, we've all been a new shooter. Even me now of shooting, like, getting into this team sniper match stuff was an excuse to buy a bunch of new gear. Sometimes that's the compelling thing for people getting into something new is they like all the new gadgets and the new things. So yeah, it's kind of a sticky thing, but what you actually need is far, far less. But yeah, that's a good video actually. I'm gonna take a picture because I'm too lazy to screenshot it. So I don't forget that. When I come back from Mammoth, I will do that video on what you actually need and don't need. What's going on, JRH? Appreciate you coming in. Nice having you. Any way to put an arc rail on empty without drilling wood? Yeah, not really. Yeah, that's kind of a rough one. I mean, you could take your bipod stud out and put an arc rail on, with one screw and maybe potentially with the front action screw, but I mean, it's not going to be real crazy sturdy. So if you want to leave that as is, maybe you can just get a chassis. I like when you do videos that are practical, like thermal setup on rifle for varmint control or setup for use or new shooter. I gotcha. Okay. What's your recommendation for a production class setup for anyone wanting to get started and current build drops me into open? So I think they've increased it a little bit again. Honestly, like unpopular opinion, like to shoot production class NRL 22, get whatever gun you want. Like, so I wouldn't tell you one. Get a 457, whichever one you like. The Bergara if you want the the 700 or the Tika, and put as much scope as you have money left. Like that's, ideally first focal plane mill, and you're good because the requirements of NRL 22 are not that high, especially for non-X stuff. You want to shoot production, like the requirements just aren't super high. Like you're going to shoot out for the monthlies 100 yards. Maybe they're going to have a bonus stage, couple 100 yards, but any of those guns are more than capable of doing that, so you won't have an issue there. So honestly, whatever you think looks the best. I'm going to go 457 and then whatever I can throw on scope wise and call it a day. But, maybe the Bergara, speaks your language a little bit better. Certainly can probably get a little bit better balancing setup out of the Bergara. So, yeah, be kind of shooter's choice there. I'm shooting SK Match Standard Plus, SK Long Regiment, some Elan Lapua out of my Lilja 20. What group size? 0.3s. I mean, if you got Lilja and, so SK Match, maybe 0.4 Standard Plus, 0.4 to 0.5, you're going to have probably like a little flyer. Long range match, definitely 0.3. Helium Lapua, definitely 0.3s. Obviously certain conditions, certain ammos, they can do better than that. But 0.3, I think, is like, for good quality ammo, good quality barrel, you should be able to do fairly consistently shoot a 0.3. We're on the Utah-Idaho border, so nice. Heck yeah, that might be, yeah, I plan to get a couple of my buddies. I do have like some ties through, so Saber Tacticals in, Florida, but they got their, development stuff's in Utah, and I really want to kill some prairie dogs, so I'm just dying to get out there. Any excuse I'm like trying to goat them into like, let's do a prairie dog hunt. So hopefully I'll be able to get something like that going here pretty quick and get out there. Ever shop factory direct club prices? No, I haven't. Let's see. Using headspace shims. So there's two different ways. The Loja barrels, things like that, they're going to come with shims for the barrel. If you don't have that at your standard barrel and you want to close the headspace, you can use bolt shims. I don't like using a lot of bolt shims because you're stretching the bolt, and I'm not sure what that's going to do to ignition. So a couple thousand, it's no big deal. Past that, I don't really want to do that with a factory setup. But yeah, barrel shims are pretty much your only option there. Let's see. Got 22 ALR shooters of Blair County, PA. Hey, Josh, love your content. We're Eric, Carl, and friends of 22 shooters of Blair County, PA. We started our own sellout matches here. Kind of send for you. Let us know. Awesome, man. Yeah, I appreciate the invite. If I'm ever out that way, I will definitely look for you guys and try and pop in. Let's see. So ES&S gave me more rifle action, and this probably the 22. Well, I mean, you're going to compare ammo for SD and ES, but if you take, like, let's say good ammo, so let's say we're gonna shoot Ely match. I put in my Voodoo and it shoots a 5 SD and an 18 ES. Like, I know it's pretty good ammo. If I go and take that and then put it in a gun, then I'm suspicious, like that I'm having accuracy, some important issues, and I have a 20 SD and a 60 ES. Like, I know I can be pretty sure that that has some sort of ignition problems. And the problem with ignition is you just seems to, like, when you have an ignition problem, you see it through SD and ES, like that's kind of how you can count for it, but it seems to do really weird things. And a lot of times where I see that manifest is like split groups, or things like where it just always has one crazy, kind of flyer with good quality ammo. Because the ignition is the thing that can change, and so sometimes there I'm looking for like burr or something going on with the bolt. But yeah, that's kind of what I meant by that. I kind of use known quantity ammo and a known quantity gun, compare it to the gun that I suspect may have an ignition issue. Um, because not only can ignition do, see, the crazy thing is a lot of times, like, we're thinking SD and ES, like extreme spread of velocity. We're talking about a vertical thing. The thing we don't account for, if we have a big SD and ES because of crazy ignition, a lot of times what you're going to see is like that crazy shift is going to be something in the harmonics. Like, you're getting a really weak or wonky ignition on one, and that bullet's going to leave the barrel in a different position of that barrel whip harmonically than the other rounds are. And that's when we get that like crazy flyer, the split groups, things. That's typically what I see with ignition problems. And the SD and ES is just one way that I use to try and see what that is, because I can't physically tell many other ways besides finding some physical defect in the bolt, or just, changing something in the accuracy all of a sudden changes. My wife's identical MTR shoots better groups with CCI steering loss than mine does with any of the ammo I listed. Yeah, something's got to be going on with that. That is definitely weird. How's the availability of 22 long run SK Ely? The usual user claim we're in a shortage, but I'm not seeing. So I mean, Ely, like, the great thing about Ely is usually almost always available. Like Kilo, like, is like the big, distributor, I guess you would call it, retailer. Um, they always seem to have Ely. SK, hit or miss. Like, I see it come and I see it go. When it comes, you got to buy it, or else it's going to be gone. But Ely typically sits around a little bit longer. Lapua, obviously, like, they can't make enough. It's just gone as soon as it hits wherever it's hitting. Let's see. And taking his apart right now. I hear you. Yeah, I would double check everything for sure. Mr. Tony Pearson, who lives in Vernal, Utah. Nice. Let's see, Mr. GRH, my suggestion is go to a match, borrow stuff for your first time. Yeah, that's true. That's a crazy good thing about the shooting community is, like, there's a ton of people who would happily let you shoot their stuff. I mean, happily, because for a lot of people, they're like, yeah, they want you to shoot it and see how cool it is, and get you sucked into it with them. What's a good rangefinder with a ballistic solver? I don't really use them much, so I'm using a weapon mounted laser rangefinder. So I'm kind of a bad person to ask because any answer I gave you would be based on like old information. So maybe somebody will chime in that actually uses like a rangefinder with a ballistic solver. The SIG kilos, I got buddies who use those, and they've been real happy with those. But that's kind of more binos. Um, but yeah, hopefully somebody will know. I don't really typically use that stuff. How about a new episode on each of the different 22 longer competitions? Long Gone, Silhouette, NRL, PRS, BR, Speedway, Exposed Events. Yeah, that's true. That probably wouldn't be too bad of an idea. Thoughts on Green Mountain barrel upgrade? So I haven't shot a Green Mountain forever. Long time ago, Green Mountain was the heat. And I mean, for like some PCP stuff that I had for 1022s, but I don't know. I mean, because it's been a long time and I really haven't heard much out of Green Mountain. Um, so I think it's like kind of a gamble, but if the price is right, it may be worth the gamble to just check and try. Lilja prefit or wooden criterion for a 457. I mean, the criterion barrels are not going to be a Lilja. Like, so if you got the money, the Lilja is going to be like the better barrel, like just hands down. Like the blank is just really good. I mean, the Liljas are a premium barrel. Criterion, they're not bad barrels. I've had good luck out of the ones I've tested, but I would definitely not say that they're competitive with like a Lilja or somebody like that. Let's see. So sweet point 3 is in the house. There you go. Let's see. Trying not to miss anything coming by quick here. Mr. Hangar Pilot. Good evening, Josh. Late getting here. Really enjoy your video. New precision rimfire shoes. Watch this far. How about a series to continue on topic how to get scope to settle down? Yeah, I mean, there are definitely some videos I have in the work, and there's a video that I want to do. That I've been wanting to do. I'm just waiting for the weather to cooperate a little bit more. Um, but yeah, definitely some like fundamentals of basically just making the rifle like stupid easy to shoot. Because it's a pretty easy formula. So, but yeah, that's definitely a video I plan on doing. If you were going to build one rifle to compete with for the next 4 years, what components would you use? Um, Honestly, so like, I'm kind of already spoiled. My Voodoo 360 is kind of like my main comp gun. It's a Modicam barrel deal. It just hammers. If I was going to build one right now, I would build a CZ. Just because it's easy, like it's easy to get, and same thing basically that I have. I would get the like either the Modicam prefit or have one spun up with like a Molly Works or a oh, I'm drawing a blank on the other one. There's another really, really, really hot prefit right now, or not prefit, but barrel blank. I'll think of it in a minute. I would go same build, Vision chassis, Timney trigger, pretty easy combo. It just works really well. It's really easy to shoot, and I haven't had any problems with it. So that's kind of where I would go. Have you shot or seen the new Anshoot 729? Take a few shots. Save one. Very nice little learning curve. It's so sweet. No, I haven't yet. Maybe I can get my hands on one. If I ever get out to another 22 competition, I might see one in the wild. Let's see. I bought the 457 Pro Varmint. 16 barrel was great, but I couldn't leave it alone. I bought the Lilja. Pro Varmint, I think, does have a match chamber, but honestly, I mean, you can't go wrong with a Lilja. Like, I mean, if you're shooting a Lilja and it's shooting good for you, like that extra barrel length is going to help anyway. 16 inches to me is like, I hate shooting next to 16-inch 22s because, man, they just have like, they're just a little bit too loud. But I think you made a solid decision there. In my situation, if I swap bolts and I'm having the same accuracy, pretty safe to assume something's wrong with the barrel or maybe scope. Yeah, I would assume the barrel. Typically for a modern scope, and I don't know what scope you're running, but modern scopes, typically you don't see like failure to hold 0, which would account for like shifting groups being an issue. Um, you would probably notice the scope was like broken enough to cause like really bad groups. So I would assume it's something in the ignition or barrel, but yeah, you can throw the other bolt in and shoot it and see if it tightens up. That would definitely be a quick and easy way to do it. Let's see. Favorite 1022 sports are Green Mountain Bull Barrels, put together about 15 years ago. Nice. See you, brother. Thanks for coming in and catching up with us. What are your thoughts on the custom 457 action by Dell Development Group or whatever? Well, I haven't got my hands on it yet. I mean, I'm excited. I don't say that. I don't know anything else to say anything else, but I'm excited about it. That's all I can be at this point until I actually get one. Um, Canadian prefits, that I am not super sure of. Probably IBI is going to be one of your sole choices, but there may be other options. I'm not sure that you can. Can you not get a barrel prefit shipped to Canada from the US? Appreciate you, Mr. Raj Rose. Thanks for showing up. Josh, any chance with your busy schedule sponsoring any local matches? I'm still thinking about, putting something together. Um, it's just been a time thing. And once I get through Mammoth and we get in the summer, I think I definitely want to put on another match. I'm not sure what it's going to look like or what it's going to be. I've got some ideas. I just want it to be ultimately a really good match, but yeah, I definitely am going to be doing more of things like that, especially once I get through this next month. Let's see. I'm having an SD of 720 ES, headspace 41 thousandths. I do have intermittent, have a hard bolt lift out of 10 shots, one flyer. Um, yeah, I mean, maybe open it up a little bit. I'm not sure that's going to change anything. 7 and 20. What's the ammo again? And if you already told me, forgive me for being like just out in left field on the brain tonight, but remind me of your ammo again. But 720s, that's pretty good. I mean, um, you can definitely try 42,000, see what happens. So let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna try and get one for sure and do a review. I'm not sure they even like want me to review it. I mean, because there's that. So the downside with the channel is that it's a gamble. Like it is a full-fledged gamble for these companies to send a gun in for a review because whether it's somebody I like, a company I do, I don't like cut anything. Like whatever it shoots, that's what it's getting. And I'm not throwing shade on other YouTubers, but they're probably already they do have big YouTubers that they work with. So for them, it's a way safer bet for them to go with them than to send me a gun because if the gun comes to me, good, bad, or indifferent, like I don't care. It's gonna be what it is, and that's if it's like my best friend's gun company or Savage or whoever. Like if it's the best thing since sliced bread, I'm super happy about it. If it's a piece of junk, I'd be totally happy to tell you guys it's a piece of junk too. So it's a gamble on their end, and not much incentive for them to do it. If you know, if there's a lot of buzz about it, it doesn't happen on its own. Like they don't hit me up, then I might just have to suck it up and buy one myself. But yeah, I do expect there's going to be a review on that coming. Is our project dead? Yeah, kind of. So I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm a sucker for U shooters. And obviously I have a lot of expensive rimfires, but when I find out about, shoot around a local U shooter or something like that, they don't have a setup. Things like the RPR and whatever scope, I'd give those guns to U shooters. And that just happened. Like so, the RPR got given away to a U shooter. It was just kind of like it wasn't something I was excited to film with. They needed a gun. I thought it'd be a good fit. It went away. That kind of happens a lot. Happened same thing with the Springfield 2020. Those kind of guns that. So yeah, it's kind of dead. I might revisit if something changes, if something real promising before it comes out. But the kids' need for a gun outweighed the content of the video. That really was we were already beating a dead horse at that point. So yeah. Appreciate you, brother. Thanks for coming on here. We haven't done a live stream in a long time, so appreciate all you guys showing up. If you didn't have bags to shoot with, what would be your bipod of choice? Man, it's hard to go wrong. The SkyPod cost all the money. So, I mean, the SkyPod for what I do is really versatile. It's kind of, it's not like the most steady. If I just wanted something super rock solid, probably like the Accutacs where they have like the feet, if I'm gonna shoot like bench stuff, be my choice. For like other everything else, probably the SkyPod. Um, so yeah, that's kind of what I would do. No, any foreign person brought in a dealer. Oof, that sucks. License to ship a barrel to enter Canada is a total pain. Yeah, that sucks. Lapua long range. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would maybe try if you're having a hard bolt lift. That's the only thing I can assume is you're a little tight and you're getting every now and again you're just getting a little bit of that swell from that little bit of heat in the priming compound of the rim area, and it's just causing that hard bolt lift. I would just see if maybe things improve with 42, but you probably don't need it. Like it's not going to hurt anything to have like that 1 out of 10. I do understand it's annoying though to have that set up and have like a hard bolt lift that disrupts the gun. So yeah, I mean, I don't. You're definitely not going to lose anything going to 42 thousandths. Scope mate or trigger cam? Honestly, I don't know. The scope mate, the company itself, like I don't like them. Don from Rimfire SS like had all sorts of trouble when he actually bought the newer one, which I'm amazed because they freaking totally crapped on him on the other one. Like I don't know, and they had actually hit me up on Instagram or like through one of my socials, and they were asking me like they were like, "Yeah, you gonna buy one? We'll give you a discount, like a 10% discount or something." But I don't know. Do I like the trigger cam? No, I think it's annoying. There's crap about it that's annoying. The scope cam, I have no real idea about. Dude, like, don't think the company's that great based on Don's experience with them. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think either one are real great, to be honest with you. I think we need a lot better option right now. So I kind of just pick. I don't know. Don likes the new. I will say this: Don likes the new scope mate, and he had all the problems with the old one. He likes the new scope mate, so maybe just based on that, go scope mate. Living in California, yeah, that sucks, bro. What do you enjoy shooting more, rimfire or centerfire? Rimfire, just because I can do it at the house, I can do it with the kids, like I can have a lot of fun. I can really work on a bunch of raw skill stuff right here for less money. For sheer enjoyment of shooting, it's hard to beat, ring and steel at 1,000 yards or 800 yards with a gas gun or 1,000 yards with a gas gun or 1,200 yards with a bolt gun. But the ammo and the I hate reloading. I hate it. And I'm a cheap guy, so I got to freaking reload because I, can't afford to buy freaking factory ammo for all the stuff that's worth a dang. So it's kind of I enjoy hitting steel with centerfire more than rimfire, but I enjoy the overall experience of rimfire more as a whole. Let's see. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Yes, it was a nightmare. So my grub screws came out really easily. Some people have a hard time getting the grub screws out, but once the grub screws were out, I basically had to like isolate the action, and then I had to take a huge drift and just beat the barrel out. So way harder than a CZ, not impossible, but yeah, it's yeah, not super easy. Ready, set, reel. I got pretty lucky with my factory 4 came with an MDT ACC Gen 1 24-inch heavy match barrel. Precision shoots good, but a new barrel is the last thing for me. Nice. Yeah, I mean, that's good. That's awesome, man. Is the quote unquote long range ammo really better past 100? Does lot testing actually matter more since most testing is at 50 shooting? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think most time when people say like long range, like it's to be honest with you, I think it's marketing bullcrap. So I mean, because what most companies do is they speed it up. And the last thing you want to do to a low BC round is speed it up because you can put it in a ballistic solver and speed it up and your win holds increase. Like it's like throwing a wiffle ball faster. It doesn't get better with like speed. So, and if you're shooting off far anyway, you're dialing, you have a ballistic solver, like, so to me, it's not helping you. Definitely just, I say pick what's in your budget. So for me, it's always been like that mid pack, like $15 box ammo, which really doesn't exist anymore. But maybe that's Lapua, you know, whatever it is, Center X and Ely Match, and then just test those because you're going to find a lot that's going to have a really good SDNES, regardless of whether it's branded long range, which I honestly think is a bunch of marketing bullcrap. Maybe it's not, but I think it is. So maybe you guys have an opinion about it too. I don't think I think it's just marketing BS. Let's see. Where wish I could find decent sample velocity ammo up here. You have them buy 500 more rounds. Yeah, I know guys are buying a case, man. Like Lapua, and I will say this: like the Lapua long range stuff has been consistently good. So I know guys that buy a case of it, and for the most part, it works really well. If it doesn't, they kind of sell it. They don't lose a ton of money. Somebody else test it and they're set up, and then at you can go in my direction and spend all the money on the guns, and basically I can almost buy like an ammo and just find which gun shoots it. Like I'm almost barrel testing my ammo. I wouldn't recommend it. Your wife probably is not going to enjoy that. But let's see. What ammo do you shoot long gun with? I've been a long gun. So honestly, whatever shoots the best SDNES, and like most things, like what I shoot for PRS 22 and RL 22 may not be the ammo I shoot a long gun because it's fixed distance. So if I'm really prepping for it, I'm going to take all my ammo and I'm going to shoot it at 300 yards, and I'm going to see what shoots the best on target at that distance. It's not always the best SDNES, and it's not always my best shooting ammo at 50. So like anything, I think it's worth testing it at that distance to see, and then just going based off of that. Let's see. Yeah, that's not a bad recommendation. The side shot and use a phone quality isn't horrible. I honestly think that I'm thinking I'm going to go back, honestly, to a side shot. Like they have a new setup now. I think I'm going to go back to it. Um, I think the phone and stuff like that, like, yeah, it may not be perfect, but a lot of times with these other ones, you are fighting things. Like you are fighting the balance between seeing the reticle and actually getting the image to match what you see. A lot of times I'm using a screen and trying to figure out, it doesn't look great in my eye, but looks better on screen. And a lot of times the side shot, that was never really a thing for me, especially if you can use a phone one, because the phone does a really good job of being kind of like dummy proof as far as filming that stuff goes. So I may go back to that, honestly. Let's see. Yeah, I went overboard and got Lapua's super long range and 5 feet per second SD versus my scalar. On 2Ks of S instead. Well, I mean, and it's hard to say at 200-300 yards, like Lapua super long range may really start shining. Even though the SDNES difference isn't that great. It's hard to say, but yeah, I don't blame you. If you get close to that with SK long range, then hey, save yourself a bunch of money. Mr. Parallax Precision, great chance. Good luck at Mammoth. Cheers, Emma. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you showing up. Thanks for everything. Let's see. Another different divisions. Do you think a semi-auto shooter will ever win a PRS or NRL? Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, I think it's going to gain more popularity. I think a lot of guys who have been in it for a minute are getting bored, to be quite honest with you. I'm seeing more seasoned shooters shoot semi-autos. I think we're going to see a bigger trend in that direction. One, because companies are kind of like taking that more seriously now. I think you're going to see more competition in the precision semi-auto sector. But I think a lot of these guys who have been shooting 4 or 5 years, 3 years, 3 seasons, whatever, some of them are bored. And that semi-auto division is a new thing, new gadgets, new toys, new kind of feel for the match. So I think, yeah, in the next couple of years we're going to see maybe not championship match finale, but maybe, I mean, it's possible, but definitely some like X matches and things like that. I think we'll start to see them in the top spots and possibly even winning, because some of these semi-autos are freaking shooting. And I mean, to be totally honest, like on most X matches, most PRS NRL matches, you don't need you don't need a .2 gun to go out and win. Like you really don't. Like you need a consistent gun, and if you can get those consistent, then yeah, I mean, I think it's definitely can be won with. Have you tried the NDR Max for the T? No, I haven't. I probably need to. I'm sure they're going to be good though because their stuff's been really really good. Robert Hughes, thanks, Josh. Let's appreciate you. Yeah, appreciate everybody. I think it's about 9:35. We're probably going to go ahead and call this one. They got last minute questions. I appreciate all you guys jumping in. Over 150 people. Like, I haven't done one of these in forever. I definitely appreciate you guys showing up and just asking questions, honestly. All the support I get from you guys. Because I tell you what, it's not very profitable, to be honest, as a gun tuber, to not be an affiliate salesman. And I'm not dogging any other YouTubers. Like, affiliate marketing keeps most of these guys afloat. And there's a lot of guys who do it with who do it and don't do it a sleazy way. Like, they just pick good stuff that they actually use and they promote it. But I kind of took the early stance that I wasn't going to do that. And you guys have literally made it possible for me to be honest, to not be affiliated, to not have to do stuff like that. Almost to the point where your guys' support forces the hands of companies to send in a gun, like, which is freaking awesome. And you guys have done that for me, and I appreciate it because I've gotten to play with a lot of cool stuff and meet a lot of people, and hopefully be helpful to a lot of people. So it's been awesome. So let's see, last minute questions. I'll get off my little soapbox about appreciating you guys. Appreciate your brother. Help me, Center Fire Love. Appreciate cost me 1,000. Yeah. Yeah, the channel's definitely going to cost you money. That's for sure. Appreciate you. Got a new Ruger 1022 Carbon. Yeah, I might need to check that out. Appreciate you, Mr. Mountain Shooter. Mr. Mark, appreciate you showing up. Thanks, brother. Mr. Chris Lang, always nice to have you on here. Mr. David Struther, thank you, brother. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to get it. I'm excited about it. Like, maybe one of the biggest videos I make, if it is what I think it's going to be when it comes out. If it performs the way I think it is, like, might be one of the biggest videos like I make. Who knows? Yeah, still in the guard. Got my 20-year letter this year, so I'm like on borrowed time. But I can't start drawing because it's not traditional retirement. But yeah, it's going good. Yeah, still doing that. So still hanging out. Mr. Sharpshooter Joe, been following you for a few years. It made me build 3 457s. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you guys letting me be a hopefully a positive influence to you. I was not at the NRL shoot today. I was hanging out with the kiddos and being a bum. Appreciate you. Thanks, Mr. Guzman. Let's see. Appreciate you, Quality Maximus. And Ty's wife forever. Thanks. Appreciate all yous. 20 years. Post office next. Well, I'm still working full time, so yeah. See, glad to see you're going back to CZ roots, man. Yeah, I'm always going to be a CZ guy. I'm definitely going to be shooting CZs more often, and hopefully with some developing stuff, be even more CZ centric. Burn it down, Mr. Barney. Appreciate you coming, man. I'm looking forward to seeing you at a match or something. It's been far too long, brother. Time I think about you, it sucks me back to VOD matches, and I don't know about you, but man, those were the good days. 3.5 years ago, PRS 22 back in VOD was hard to beat. The experience, the crowd, the people, and the competition. But appreciate all you guys showing up again. We'll do this again. I won't make you wait 2 months, but thanks for everybody showing up. Hope everybody has a good rest of your night. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one. As always, see you guys.